Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. Jenny Adams is my guest, founder and CEO of Access Granted. Website, BeTheManSheCraves.com. All right, Jenny, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so ecstatic to be here.
Now, you state that masculinity is a gift. Why is the masculine important?
The masculine is important because without it, the feminine can't exist. So women right now are forced to be masculine to be successful in most workplaces. Feminism got us in the door, but we went into a patriarchal structure where masculine success is the only success. And so we take that over into our personal lives as well, because that's what we're taught. And a lot of men take that home and want equality at home as well, which we'll talk about more in a minute. But this gift is for women to be able to be in their feminine. We have to have the masculine support to do that. It's a safe landing space. It supports us and holds us in a stable place. I sometimes refer to it as being the lighthouse in her ocean. Her ocean is very wild and stormy and sometimes calm and beautiful with gorgeous sunsets. The lighthouse needs to stand there solid and make her feel safe and beckon her home with the light that he gives to bring her home to safety.
Now, you've been known to say that equality has destroyed attraction between men and women. What is the difference here?
So equality in our country specifically, but all around the world, equality typically means a woman must act like a man to succeed. And when women are acting masculine, there's no attraction. So attraction happens if there's a scale of masculine to feminine. Right now, equality is pulling everyone to the middle. Women are becoming more masculine. Men are becoming emasculated. And there's no attraction there. I talk to a lot of CEOs and other businessmen who are really confused and, as they call it, brainwashed by being at work and trying to get the women to feel equal. And then they go home to their wife and there's no attraction because they're trying to get her to feel equal as well. And really, the attraction's on the outside, and it's the difference between the masculine and the feminine. And so when you're in equilibrium, so if you're praying, your hands are even, this would be equality. Equilibrium is really like this when your palm is right in between here. It's almost like a man and a woman having sex. The man is actually below her slightly. They're still attached, but she is being lifted and honored. She is not above him and disconnected. They are lifting each other up in this way. If she is down below him, she cannot be radiant. It's like a candle and a flame. The masculine's the candle and the feminine is the flame. She cannot be radiant if she's below the wick.
Makes sense. All right. How can men make women feel safe in the relationship?
There's so many ways, but one way that they can do that is lead her in the relationship and bring their masculinity. This is why it's such a profound gift. When they let the woman be masculine, she never has that safety to fall into and surrender into her femininity. We have to have that safe spot. And so bringing your masculine fully allows us to surrender into our feminine. Without it, there's no safety to land there.
Now, before I get into sex energy, I wanted to understand some points of how men can bring out their masculinity without being overbearing or misusing the masculinity side.
This is perfect. So, for instance, if we're in that equilibrium state, the woman is the inspiration for the man's leadership. He uses her desires to lead her. This is partially why bad boys are loved by women so much, is they're taking us somewhere, they're leading us somewhere. We can surrender and just follow. When we have to make all the decisions and all the planning and all of creating everything, that's masculine energy. And if the man can do that based on our desires and really tune in to our desires, anticipate our needs versus trying to read our mind. Our needs are already out there and you know them, but you need to anticipate those needs and desires and then lead.
I'm getting the feeling that there's really some empathic abilities that need to be awakened in order for this to really go, because you can't be dense and not understand what the other person is needing, as what happens in some relationships.
Exactly. Yes. The feminine's very energetic, and it's so easy to read. So, for instance, men are very capable of doing this. You do it all the time, whether you're fishing or playing golf or playing football. If in a football scenario, say the person that's doing the tackling, they know they can't tackle at the head. They can't hit head to head. And so they control themselves based on that person's movement to tackle them in the right space. They're watching that person's energy and their motion. They're very in tuned with that person that they're about to tackle.
Got it. Now let's move to sex energy. How is it related to wealth creation?
Perfect question. In the book, Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, there is a very misunderstood chapter that most people just kind of read and then don't talk about, and it is called The Mystery of Sex Transmutation. So this whole book is it's a study of the 500 wealthiest men in the world in 1938, I believe. And one of the things he found was that sex energy is part of the key to growing wealth. So the book itself is Think and Grow Rich. So the whole book is about wealth. Sex energy, he calls it an emotion, is the highest form of energy that a physical being has, is sex energy. And when you use that inspiration, again, when that woman is inspiring you, you can actually create more wealth with her as your muse.
Okay. And I assume if she's not inspiring you, it can really lead to diminishing returns.
Absolutely.
Okay. That needs to get out there a lot more than it is right now, because it would probably help the relationship if women knew that there was a better payoff, and men understood that that's a role that should be supported and enriched, so that relationship can grow, and as well as, aside from the wealth, the overall success of just mankind. And I don't say that in a sexist way, but just using as a generic term. Am I on page with you on this?
You are absolutely on page.
Okay. Tell us about your online course for men.
Sure. I have an online course for men called How to Be the Man She Craves. And it is really potent. It teaches you about how to lead inside and outside the bedroom. The first few pieces are really tying into the man himself and not even going to the woman first, because you really have to be your own person and in your own power in the right way. There's toxic masculinity as well. This teaches you how to be in that healthy way, and then make your decisions out of your own happiness. So I know that a lot of men are just trying to please the woman. We want happy women around us, as the men do, because it's miserable if you don't. But you have to be happy yourself to be able to give that to her. Yep. And so those are some of the things that are taught, but it's in and out of the bedroom, how to lead in and out of the bedroom. They're all tied together. And the results that men get are that there's happiness for both of you. There's better sex and more of it. And you're getting things right everywhere. With the women in your relationships at home, your daughters, your sisters, the women that you work with, might be your boss or a coworker or someone that works for you. It covers all the bases. And
why is your course different than any other that are out there?
So there's a few different reasons. One is that it teaches all of it together. So a lot of courses are just sex or just outside the bedroom and communication or things like that. But for a woman, they're all these things are tied together. So I call it, we have a spaghetti brain as women, and that men have a waffle brain. So our spaghetti brain is that if you pull on this piece of spaghetti, it's tied to this over here. So outside the bedroom is building, it's either building growth inside the bedroom or it's diminishing inside the bedroom. No matter where you pull on it, they're tied together. And a man has a waffle brain, so you are in compartments and you have to jump over the wall of the waffle to get to the other side. So that men are very focused. And so you're either here or here. And that is one of the things that I do differently in my course, is that I teach it all together, because that is what a woman needs from you.
To be less waffle and more spaghetti?
No. Women need to learn about your waffle. But you need to understand her spaghetti and how tied together it is. Because if you do something outside the bedroom to grow your relationship, you might be spinning in this virtuous cycle here. But if you're failing in the bedroom, you're actually going to be going down, even if you're succeeding outside the bedroom. And it's the same if you're succeeding inside the bedroom but not outside, you're going down. If you're succeeding at both, you're in the virtuous cycle to get both of you higher.
Got it. Okay. What are the biggest mistakes men make?
There are so many. If you go to my website, there's plenty of blogs in there. Let me think of a couple here. One would be that a woman's orgasm is a climax like yours. That is not true. We can have climaxes, but ours is more of a ever expanding journey. It's a process and a flow, and there's energetic, and it has highs and lows, and it can still go. And of course we can have multiples, but it's, if you're focusing on her climaxing, that's a mistake.
Okay. That's a big one. I mean, I'm sure everybody's gonna agree with you. Is that before we go, I mean, there's got to be more than one mistake.
Oh, absolutely.
Make.
Oh, yeah. There's tons of mistakes. One of the big ones, which we've touched on earlier, is not leading in the relationship and letting her feel safe with you as a man. So if, for instance, if I come home and I need a glass of water, if I'm going to be in my feminine, I can't go get that glass of water. It is a masculine. Masculine is action, and feminine is relaxation. And so in order for her to relax, someone would have to go get that water for her. But she still has to drink the water. In order to do that, if the man does not step in and take the action, she has to step in and take the action and be masculine. So you need to beat her to her masculinity with your masculinity.
But be subtle. Not toxic.
Well, the toxic is different. So this would be another huge mistake that men make. So toxic masculinity is on two ends of the scale. And I'm going to go this way this time. One is the heart and one is the genitals. So if a man is all heart, he is emasculated. If he's ignoring that he even has genitals, trying to hide that he is a man in that aspect, that's toxic. We don't feel safe because we know that you're men, but if you're hiding that you're sexual, deep down inside, women can feel that. It's like, okay, we know this is going to come out. When's it going to come out? Then the other side of it is all genitals and no heart. And that is the macho man, right? That's also toxic because there's no heart in it. But we connect as humans in our heart and our genitals. And with women, in order for women to be safe, to feel safe, the man has to be in both. He has to be open about both and be in both with her. So
through your course, you're saying you're helping men find the balance so that they are able to be more in touch with their masculinity and work with it to the point where their relationships can help evolve them to a better level of life in a well-rounded view. Am I getting that right?
Yes, and that's really individual to each person, and it really gets you to be yourself. What you've been hiding in the past is probably one or the other of those, and it really allows you to feel like you can be a full man, both in your heart and in your genitals, and it's all okay. And it actually lifts you up and her.
Got it. Jenny, thanks for being a guest on today's show.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It was fun.
Me too. All right, you've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Don't forget, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.